the Vortex Viper. Let's check it out. Vortex Viper is one of those scopes that I've been wanting for a while. It's kind of an intermediate price scope, but it has a lot of cool things about it that are really found on most of your higher end scopes. One of the things about optics, and a lot of guys are guilty of this, they'll buy a $700-800 rifle and then they'll put a $100-150 optic on their gun. And they don't hold zero, they don't hold up, and the optic is really what you need to get really great accuracy, especially out to distance. With the Vortex Viper, it's a medium price scope, but yet this is going to take you where you want to go. It's not one of those scopes that you necessarily have to upgrade, and really great for 3-gun, for close quarter because of the 1 power, all the way out to distance because of the 4 power, and just an all-around total scope that you can use for a multitude of reasons. But there's a lot of cool things about it, and we're going to take a look at a lot of the features, and I think you're going to find the Vortex Viper is well worth the money. Vortex makes a wide range of scopes for all the way from budget-minded to really high-end optics. And so today we're going to take a look at one of their mid-range scopes, the Viper PST. This is a 1x4 by 24 illuminated reticle scope, and there's a lot of great features about this scope that exceed even the $499 price tag. And then if you really want to go up to the Razor, which really gets expensive, but I think the glass that you're going to get out of this Viper is better than anything on the market comparable to this price. Now, one of the cool things that I like about the Viper is that it has the turrets that actually can just be turned without having to remove the caps. And it just makes it really easy to make your adjustments and to be able to get right where you want to, whether it's elevation or windage. It's really easy to get a hold of the 1x4 turret right here to get this magnification going. So you can go all the way from 1 power for really close-up shots all the way out to 4 power magnification. Now, the illumination dial is right back here next to the ocular ring, so you can adjust this however you want to, and there are 10 different settings. 1 through 5 is for night vision or low light settings, and then 6 through 10 are for more daylight settings. And each one has an off in between, which I love. So really you could set this at about 5 or in between 5 and 6. And then if you have nighttime, you can flip to 5, daylight, go to 6. Makes it really quick. A lot better than having to just turn this a number of times, and plus with the offs in between, you don't have to rotate this dial every time you want to turn it off. And I'm notorious for leaving it on. There's a cap right here. It's real easy, just with either with a quarter or with a large screwdriver, and you can remove that cap. The battery is one of the button batteries. It's a 2032. They're very common and used in a lot of different scopes. Right here is the fast focus ring, and you can set this to whatever your eyesight is to be able to really focus that onto the reticle. The glass is incredibly clear. It's an extra low dispersion glass, so it really helps with resolution, which is really important out to distance. It makes real crisp images, and one of the things about when you're getting out to distance is being able to actually see the detail, and that's the glass has as much to do as with the magnification. Also, it's fully multi-coated, so it's going to increase light transmission, which is going to help. And the lens does have an ArmorTech lens protector, so keep it from getting scratched. Now you'll notice this little bright mark. This is fiber optic, and then you have one on the turret for your elevation. This allows you to line this up to your zero. So however you zero it in, and I'm going to show you, we're going to look at the turret and remove it, and there's a few features about this, but once you set that, to make sure you're on zero, all you have to do is line up this with the top of your turret with just a quick look from the top. Now, one of the great features of this scope are these little brass shims. And I saw them in the package when I got it. I had the little Allen wrench with it. I'm going to show you how to install this in the Advantage, which it's really simple, the advantage that this gives you. Once you get the scope sighted in, take your elevation, and there are little set screws, there are 3 of them, and take the provided Allen wrench and just loosen it up. You don't have to remove them, but you want to get them where the turret can come off. Once you get the set screws pulled out, just remove your turret and just set it aside. Now you'll notice that the internals here, it has kind of an area where it recesses in. And this scope, now you want to leave it exactly where it was when you sighted it in, and start putting these little shims from either side. Continue to put these shims in until they won't fit any longer. Now that's it. That's as many as I can get. It's okay that there's a little bit of play. It doesn't hurt. In fact, you really need that. Now take the 0 on your turret and put it right here where this little hash mark is. You want to make sure you keep it right there on the 0 while you tighten down your set screws. Now let's say you go out to the range and you really need to up your distance. You need to really take long shots, so you want to turn your turret. You can turn it and get it out to wherever you're going, make your shots, but now you want to get it back to 0. And all you have to do is turn it until it gets back to 0, and that will bring you back to the original 0. So there's not a lot of guessing, it's right there. Now obviously you can keep turning it this way until it finally meets the shims, and it'll bear down on it right here. So that's a stop that keeps it from continuing on. But that way it won't go around. You can get back to 0 at any time. Of course, with windage you don't need that because you're going left to right. But with elevation, it's definitely a really cool feature. And listen to those clicks. They're tactile and they're audible. There's actually 220 MOA adjustments for windage and elevation. Each click represents 1/2 MOA, which an MOA is 1.05 inches, not just a little over an inch, but most people just calculate it in inches. The 1.05 makes it a little more precise. Alright, here we have the reticle system set up, and you can see the lines going. Those are actually 2 MOA per line. Then with the center circle, it really allows the eye to get directly on target. It gets you right in there. Kind of balances it out. Each of the lines going vertical and horizontal are 2 MOA. So it takes 4 clicks to go over each to the next line. So when you're ranging out, I mean, it really shows up well. Now that's just with the black etch. Those reticles are actually etched, laser etched, which is going to make it really nice. You don't have to worry about crosshairs breaking or anything. Now we're going to check the illumination setting on here, and that is 10. And as you can see, it's really bright. It's going to hold up really well. Really, in super bright sunlight, those black etched lines are the best to me. I mean, you can pick them up very easily. We're going to off. Now we're going to the lowest setting. You can't see that. That's number 1, and number 2, 3. Now you're starting to see a little glow. 4, a little more. 5. Now 6, and here we go, is a daylight setting. And in this low light right here of this forest, you can see it. 7, 8, even better. 9, and then 10. I mean, that really allows you to bring that together. But even with just the reticle, you're getting a really sharp black reticle there. And actually through the scope you can see that a little bit better. This is going through the foam through the scope. But what I love is that being able to go from on to off every time I make an adjustment. And if you guys are wondering, the phone mount, it's this G-line, and this is actually their old adapter. I'm getting ready to show the new adapter. But if you're looking for something to be able to hook up any of your phones to your scope, this is an incredible system. I've got a review. I'll have the links down below. The body of the scope is machined from one solid block of 6061 T6 aluminum, and has a really tough finish on here, very hard anodized finish. So it's going to make it really look good longer. It's argon gas purged, which makes it fog proof and waterproof. There are O-rings in all the different points where water can get in, and it is shock proof. So it's really built to withstand a lot of things. In fact, a lot of 3-gunners are using these, and but this would make an excellent home defense gun, or if you're out at the range and if you're as rough as I am on your optics. But it just really has a great look to it. Now, I have an American Defense quick detach mount on here. It's a pretty beefy mount, and these are just excellent. I use these quite a bit. But one of the great things about Vortex is they have an unlimited, unconditional guarantee on these scopes. And that's one of the great things about it. I mean, if you do anything to this scope, Vortex is going to take care of it. And so, I mean, that alone is a great reason to go with Vortex. These are made in the Philippines, not in China. I know that Vortex is working on building scopes right here in the US. So Vortex is really, they just have a lot of things going for them. I've been using Sparks for a number of years. They're great little scopes for the money. The Strike Eagle, and just a really excellent company that's really doing a lot. Now, this scope was actually furnished by Optics Planet, and because of that, they're giving a 5% discount using Suit00, which I think is really nice, not just on the scope, but on anything you order. And they always have great customer service, and they have a ton of different things to go with. So Optics Planet's a great source, especially for optics, but all kind of other things. With all the different features that are on the Vortex Viper, it's one of those scopes that you can just kind of settle into. It has the capability of 1 power to get up close, all the way out to 4 power to hit those longer distance targets. Perfect for the AR-15. And with all the different features, this really surpasses a lot of scopes in its price and really meets a lot of really high dollar scopes. I'll spoil you after shooting with the power on there.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
We're using Fusion 62 grain. These are soft points, and this is from Federal. Excellent ammunition, and I want to thank Federal also, of course, for sponsoring the ammunition. And again, you can find these on opticsplanet.com. Use Suit00 when you check out, you get 5% off. I think that's a great deal, and that's on whatever you order. So the Vortex Viper, it's 1 to 4 by 24, thumbs way up. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America, long live the Republic. I've really been wanting to get, today we're taking the Vortex Viper, the Vortex Viper, the Vortex Vipers, the Vortex Viper, the Vortex Viper, the Vortex Vipers, the Vortex Viper. I thought, what in the world are these things for? What in the world? And this is actually, now in the package came a bunch of these, there's just, oops.